Hey guys, King of Charmander here. Today I will be your judge, jury, and your analyst. And today I bring to you data from the almighty Lord and Savior, YTX Pikachu. And these are the top, well, I'll be analyzing the top 10, but these are the top teams of Season 8 Great League, or rather the most common ones. As you see here, there's a percentile on each side, just noting you of how, like, the most common teams that you'll probably see. And honestly, a lot of these aren't really a surprise. However, I'll be analyzing the top 10. I'm going to go through these rather quickly, more so of how to beat them rather than like how they're used, because a lot of them are really generic. No, seriously, like the amount of artistry, I can't even spell artistry right. Seriously, this is like Mozart would look at this and scream just because it's like the amount of if you control F this and you see how many times Azu is being used in all these teams, I'm just like, oh my gosh. Oh man, it's more common than the plague. Please don't be the Black Plague like in whatever, actually not in 1900s, like what, like 1700s or whatever? I don't know. I didn't pay attention to history class. For those of you that did, Azu is back and arguably more popular than ever. Like, a lot. Like, dang. Like, someone brought out the bunny. We're not in Vegas, but someone brought out the bunny. Anyways, I hope you don't know that reference. If you're not over the age of 18, please do not research the bunny over 18 in Las Vegas. Okay, the bunny house. Okay, I'm gonna stop. Let's get started. Alright, here we go. So most of these teams, again, these are the most common teams in Great League. This makes up about 8% of the meta. As in, you can see a whole bunch of different combinations, but 'tis is the nature of blind GBL. Or blind threes, for those of you do know. So, if you know about the 3 blind mice, wait, that makes total sense. You know, no, yeah, it kind of makes sense. I mean, like, 3 blind mice, where you, like, see 3 blind Pokemon, you have no idea. You don't see or anything until you start the battle, and you're like, oh, I see the lead, and then you see the switch, and then you're like, oh gosh, I know this team. In this example, you have Medicham, Azumarill, and Galarian Stunfisk. This team comes in at a whooping 0.27%. Pretty much all these teams will come out like it, but I guess like the first 4. The rest of them are like 0.27 to 30, and the only titanical difference is probably the top 3. This is Medicham leaves Adu Switch and Galarian Stunfisk as your closer. It's super generic. It really is. This just substitutes this is essentially the Medicham double steel team, but you don't see poor Wallface. You don't see a shield. You don't see a giant dinosaur that weighs 2,000 pounds and takes forever to kill, especially if it's a flyer. So here you go. Such a great team. This team has great coverage, great consistency, extremely bulky, and extremely safe. Well, when you put Medicham and you put G-Fisk together, this is pretty much what you get. And then you have Azu. You know, I like bunnies. Bunnies don't do that bad. But you know what? The most hated bunny of all time is in Johto, and I hate Azumarill. Well, actually, I don't really necessarily hate it that much. Yeah, because I had you know, it's so much fun it's so much fun sending Azumarill to the underworld by beaming it to death. It's so great. Anyways, as you see here, this team does fall. Ironically, this team, if you see Medicham in the lead or get the Medicham mirror, Medicham can actually beat Azumarill as an XL with Psychic in the one shield, so it's not that bad. Also, Azumarill, I mean, can take out Medicham with Play Rough. This is a super generic team. Does this, well, yeah, well, when you have the Medicham G-Fisk and then you have arguably the most powerful Mon, or the most of all time, like, Azu is the GOAT. Like, it's not a GOAT, it's a bunny, I know, but, like, seriously, it's been annoying since Season 1, and to this day, in Season 8, seasons later, it's like it's so annoying. Anyways, as you see here, this team does very, very well. There's a lot of things that can core break it. Mainly, you see Jellicent and Mew, which is probably, or just a Psychic lead in general. Hypno can also give you a problem with Thunder Punch and Fire Punch. So a lot of Hypnos nowadays are carrying Focus Blast, so even Galarian Stunfisk isn't safe. If you see a Hypno thrown into you, and you see a couple of confusions go through and they don't throw a Fire Punch or a Thunder Punch, you might want to consider shielding, because it's happened to me plenty of times. The funny thing is, I know it's coming, but I'll still beat, I still beat all of them. I've beaten all the Focus Blast Hypnos, because I'm like, yeah, go ahead, Focus Blast me. I know it's coming, I'm just going to farm you down and then destroy your back row, unless it's a hard counter. Actually, I think I've lost 2 of those battles, not all of them. Anyways, there's a lot of things that core break this team. Very generic, but it's also extremely powerful. Yeah, there's other teams out here that are like super common. So if you don't play this one, you probably played it. I've played it at least like 5 times already. Yeah, 5 times at least. Because then after I take out the Medicham, then I'm like, and then I see the bunny, I'm like, dear God, there's a G-Fisk in the back. It's so, I like pancakes, but man, if you eat too many pancakes, you get mad. It goes down your thighs. So yeah, I love pancakes, but dang, man. Anyways, this is team number 10. Again, Medicham lead, Azu, Switch, Galar, and Stunfisk as your closer. Next up, we got Venusaur, Azu, G-Fizz. This is the exact same team as before, you just have Venusaur in the lead instead of Medicham. So creative. I know, right? Like, so creative. So, I'm gonna go through this really quickly. Venusaur lead, Azu, Switch, G-Fisk as your closer. Do you like pancakes? Well, pancakes gives you an extreme amount of bulk, even though Venusaur isn't the thickest thing in the world. Azu and G-Fisk make up for that. Great coverage, great safety, great consistency. As you see for your meta scorecard, Medicham doesn't necessarily beat you in the 2-shield scenario, however, it can give you a hard time. Venusaur is prone to getting ice punched in the face, and you can psychic it to death, so it's not, yeah. As you see here, if you scroll down, again, Medicham can give you a hard time just because of Ice Punch, but Venusaur theoretically wins CMP, so you should win Venusaur will win the 2-shield. Other things that can give you a problem is, of course, Talonflame, or an Ice Lead like Obama Snow. Say switch to Azumarill, and then try to win back switch, or like close out, or sack Azumarill, and then if you played the Venusaur double steel team, this is too much different. It just literally replaces the legendary dinosaur, the extinct, well, I wish it was extinct, 4-legged beast known as Bastiodon, and it just slaps in the Azumarill in there. So creative. Extremely creative. The most creative thing in the world with a 648 rating, so it's actually pretty good. I face this team a lot and always assume that there's a Bastion in the back, but if you're playing the Hypno Double Fighter team, or Hypno Double Dark team, like, Azu does really well, especially with Play Rough. Alright, next up we got Altar... Wait. This is the... What? Poor Cloud Chicken! Yo! Dang! Yo! I seen an unreasonably high amount of Altaria. And God, I actually faced this team 4 times today. Anyways, this is the same exact team as the other 2 teams. It just has Altaria in the lead. And Altaria beats the Fighter and, of course, the Grass archetype, so that's why it's in the lead. Altaria also gives Shadow Nidoqueen and the new Poison meta a hard time. They'll still beat you. They can still beat you, but they have to expend both of their shields, so... Altaria is a very interesting mon. It's very, very powerful. If you see Azumarill or if you see Stunfisk in the front, just switch out. Also, if your big Cloudbird gets locked into a giant wall-faced Bastiodon, yeah, you die. Like, you'll lose all scenarios. The rating is so bad that you literally have to, like, beat the unholy hell out of the poor Bastiodon just to make sure you win. Anyways, this team... Oh, I almost skipped the rating. Really bulky, great coverage, safety, and consistency. This is literally the same exact as the other 2 teams. You just have a giant Cloud Chicken in the front. Super thick Cloud Chicken with one of the most broken fast moves in the game. As you see here, basically it's just like the fairy or the ice archetype that gives you a hard time. Wish Cash is only in front because if you get hit by a blizzard, Altaria dies. Yes, it will take your... Wish Cash is here to take your money, and it's going to come with interest, which is going to be in the form of your elo, so just be very, very careful. Anyways, it's a 643, again, pretty much the same formula. Altaria lead. Azu, Switch, Galar, Stunfisk as the closer. So unique at 0.27%. A lot of people are still using it, and like I said before, I actually faced it like 4 times a day, so not really surprised it's still running around. And the next team, it's... Okay, so if you actually noticed it within like 5 seconds, yes, it's the same exact team, it's just reordered. It's like, oh my god, it's so annoying. Like, okay, so I'm going to skip all the way down here. I'm going to go over this faster than Yu-Gi-Oh! Beating Kaiba when he draws Exodia. Because when you get the 5 card, for those of you that are very cultured in the ways of, childhood Cartoon Network, when Yu-Gi draws the 5 pieces of Exodia, bam, you automatically win the game. It's not quite like Go Battle League, but hey, it was pretty cool back in the day. As you see here, it's literally the same exact thing as the previous team. You just put G-Fisk in the front instead of Altaria. Now, the thing that changes is that G-Fisk does beat things like Skarmory. It also can beat Sableye, etc. And it's kind of, it's freaking G-Fisk, okay? So I like pancakes, but, you know, serving me breakfast before the rest of the meal still doesn't entice me to use this team. I will probably never... Freaking Azumarill. You could tell I really hate Azumarill. Anyways, next one. Alright, next up, we got a serving of pancakes for breakfast to you, but instead we put the mighty toilet burb and Littlefoot with bananas on its neck, and it has leaves for wings. Yes, I used the Land Before Time reference. If you watch that movie, it's a great movie. It actually is a really good movie. I definitely recommend you watch it. It's very kid-friendly, and it has a really great story. Anyways, as you see here, this is G-Fisk, Pelipper, Save Switch, and Tropius. This was actually one of the most I think it was like one of the most powerful and popular teams. I forgot which season. Either like 4. I think it was like season 4 or like 5. I mean, not 5 because 5 was a month, but season 4 or 3, this team was actually extremely popular, and it's back. It's returned. This team is really safe. Pelipper Safe Switch is very, very powerful in this meta. Has good break bulk coverage and consistency. Like I said, this team has been out before. Pelipper, you just Safe Switch into Pelipper, and then you have Stunfisk, and then Tropius closes out in the back. The bad thing is Tropius is essentially just a grass version of Altaria. If you see a Bastiodon, 9 times out of 10 you're probably going to die. And Ice Beam still hurts you a lot because it is double weak to ice. When you freeze leaves and you freeze something that flies, guess what? You got a whole lot of hurt, and it hurts a lot. As you see here, this team does well again. This team was like, during the current meta, I would say it's still really good, since the meta hasn't really changed too much since like, well, actually it has changed with the poison buff, etc. However, G-Fisk neutralizes that while you have G-Fisk in the lead, as you see here. And it's still really good. Your biggest problem is probably Sableye as well as Mew. Mew can win the 2-shield against Sableye. I mean, not against Sableye, against G-Fisk. Pancakes don't like water, and you don't like soggy pancakes. I don't like soggy pancakes either. Medicham or any fighter will give you a hard time in the lead. That's why you have double flyers in the back. And it's a pretty generic strategy, you know. But cover your pancakes. You microwave them. Put them in the oven. Sir, may I please have some more? Yes, that's an Oliver Twist reference. If you've never watched that movie, it's a really old movie. It's still pretty dang good. If you don't like anything lower than HD or what Go Battle League has to offer when you watch it, you probably aren't going to enjoy it. So, other than that, if you do know it, you, sir or ma'am, or whichever you clarify as, are awesome. Anyways, this team has a very mid threat score, but it's pretty generic. Safe Switch Pelipper, and then hopefully Tropius can cover what G-Fisk cannot if he can win back Switch. Alright, so this is where the percentage goes up just a little bit. So for the last team, it's 0.34%, which isn't really that much. That's probably the 0.07%. That's probably an increased odds of you getting struck by lightning, which I actually don't know. If you Google it, let me know what the actual percentage is of getting struck by lightning. Hopefully it's a lot lower than 0.007, because I don't like getting struck by lightning. I don't know about you. But anyways, as you see here for the next team, we have the Obama Snow, Azu, and Sableye team. Yeah. You've probably seen this since like season 4. It's been around forever. It's been in the top teams since forever. Literally forever. It's Obama Snow. Obama Snow. Obama, whichever one you want to call it. I say Obama all the time just because, you know, if you didn't vote for Obama, then you don't know. But yes, vote for Obama. Obama is the greatest snowman of all time and the greatest politician Pokemon Go has ever seen, or rather Pokemon Go. Obama has made, Obama Snow, the snowman, has made much more of a relevant impact in Pokemon Go than the regular Pokemon series. Unless it's like that mega episode if you haven't watched or catched up that far. Anyways, it's Sableye, Safe Switch, Azu as your closer. Great across the board. Very generic to use. If you lose the lead with Obama, so just Safe Switch into Sableye, try to take back Switch, and then Azu closes out. Super generic team. The reason why it does so well is just because you have it's great across the board just because Sableye is arguably one of the most powerful Safe Switches of all time. And it's Obama Snow's Weather Ball, like it does great against things like Swampert. And of course Azu to close out. You have one of the most powerful and bulky mons of all time. In your closing scenario, it's really freaking strong. So yeah, it's very common. I played it a whole lot. Probably the Shadow Obama Snow and the Shadow Obama version. I faced that one. I faced non-purified Sableye, and of course, nothing changes about the bunny. The only difference is the bunny now can be extra large. So if you like extra large with the size of fries, I do not recommend you get it. But if it's in the Azumarill, then by all means, if you do have a very thick and large bunny, it will serve you well in Go Battle League. Alright, the next team, which stands at 0.34, this is the end of the 0.34 ranges, is Marowak lead, Vigoroth Safe Switch and A9 to close out. I am not sure who invented this team. It probably is a content creators team just based on the way it's put together. I think it's a good team. I just, you know, I see a lot of pancakes in the lead. A lot of pancakes in the lead. Anyways, as you see here, this team doesn't have great coverage or bulk, which is kind of scratched. That's why I'm scratching my head a little bit. It does have great safety and consistency. If you scroll down here, Vigoroth is a great safe switch, don't get me wrong. I think it's a really great mon, minus the fact that if you look at this entire line, you essentially die to Azu. I'm assuming it's a Charm A9 in the back, but that doesn't really help your case in most senses. It's still really good, but G-Fist lead can give you a hard time, so can Jellicent lead. And Swampert as well. Like, Swampert is Alolan Marowak's Nightmare. I've also seen a lot of Sableye lead, so I'm not... This team is being used a lot, but I'm not too entirely sure why. Just because there's a lot of... There's a whole lot of holes in it. I'm pretty sure it's doing extremely well because a lot of... some people are using this team, but I can't, like, at least unless I get a little bit of practice with it, I can't really understand how it... I know how it works. It's just like, you know, like... There's a lot of things that can incorporate this team, so it's very interesting. With a very high threat score, so I'm kind of confused. Oh, I forgot about Bastiodon. If you see Bastiodon lead, you're probably going to hate life. Because the only way you're going to beat Bastiodon is if you Earthquake with if you farm it down, if you line it up with Vigoroth, and you could hope that your Vigoroth isn't beaten down enough to where it doesn't get lit on fire by Bastiodon. No, seriously, who decided to give Bastiodon Flamethrower? I'm just being real. Like, you are, like, it's a tank. It's a dinosaur, you know? Why does the dinosaur breathe fire? No, seriously though. Who? Why? Why? It is not a dragon. It is a tank. Well, technically it makes sense, you know? If you use the archetype of a tank has a cannon, fires a giant bazooka, and then, not a bazooka, but, you know, a giant shell, and then it goes boom. And, okay, enough of my rant anyways. This team does fall at 0.34%, so it's pretty up there on the spectrum. Not as high as the top 3, but it's up there. Alright, now to whooping 0.60%, not 0.69 because it's not that cool, but you know what, you've probably seen this before, it's Medicham Double Steel. Behold! Medicham XL, Valarian Stunfisk, and Bastiodon. You know, this team's really popular and you've probably seen it before, but it's Medicham Double Steel. This team is still running rampant. It's been in the top team since like Season 6. It's running rampant. Great bulk, good coverage, amazing bulk, coverage, safety, and consistency just because of the Medicham Bastiodon core, and of course, Galarian Stunfisk is also pretty dang bulky. Not gonna go over this team. It's super generic. I think the team above this one's actually much better than this one, and it just changes one piece of the puzzle, but Medicham Double Steel is just annoying because you have two really... Steel is a really powerful archetype, and at the same time, Galarian Stunfisk is one of the most powerful, literally, you have one of the most powerful XLs and one of the most powerful Steel-type Pokemon since Season 2. What else can go wrong? As you see here, this team has a pretty high threat score. You don't see a lot of... you could probably see Jellicent. I would see Jellicent probably being your biggest nightmare for this team. Other than that, you don't see a lot of Deoxys defense running around. You could still see it, but you could also see Sableye in the lead. So, Sableye and Jellicent, Ghost type in the lead is probably your worst nightmare. Galarian Stunfisk is your safe switch, try to break shields, win back switch, and then realign. This team is so popular, or at least Medicham Basticore, is that your opponent can probably expect, or they probably already know that you have Bastiodon in the back. Which is why in this team, or if you saw in the previous common teams, you've seen a lot of people finessing literally Bastion and just putting Azu in the back or something else. The reason they're doing that is just because, for example, if you have Azu versus... If you have a Scrafty versus an Azu, then Azu 9 times out of 10 will probably win that matchup. A lot of people are taking advantage of using Medicham and, like, basically trying to finesse they're just finessing patterns. Other than that, this team is still very, very powerful. More common than the other ones just because statistically it's a lot better than the other ones. The other teams just try to catch things. These teams are very powerful, have been proven to be very powerful. Well, Medicham, Bastiodon, this team in particular has been very powerful for a long time. And for good reason. And if it hasn't killed you, it's definitely killed me and taken a lot of my elo. But I've also punched that poor Wallface to death. I have taken my forearm Goro. Not really, I don't use Machamp in Great League, but I have successfully punched down and flattened many pancakes and broken the faces of many Bastiodons. Yes, I am proud of that accomplishment, and if you've done it too, so should you. Oh my god, it finally showed up! You know what I mean? It's a bird, it's a plane! No, it's a Bastion! This is the infamous Bastiodon Medicham core with Sableye as a safe switch. I have nothing against you if you use this team, it's just this team is really that freaking good. In fact, it's at a 0.74% rating, which means a lot of people are using it. For good reason. It's extremely powerful, and Sableye is just such a good safe switch. Couple that with a Medicham XL and it closes out. It's an extremely powerful team, which is why you see a lot of G-Fist leads, because a lot of G-Fist leads do really try to catch Bastiodons. And with the Poison Bite debuff, the Poison type buff, you might have the added chance of catching a Poison type lead. So, but despite of that, it is still an incredibly powerful team. If you win switch with Sableye, as you see here, like enough said, really, like anything with Bastiodon Medicham will grace you 2 A's, but with Sableye as your safe switch, it's literally the only thing you don't compromise is safety, which is kind of ridiculous in my sense, just because, well, it's just statistically, just because Sableye, in my opinion, is one of the best safe switches. It's just like, when you put the data together, it's just a little bit of a hole. Don't let this discourage you, though. This team is more savage than Gordon Ramsay whenever he roasts everybody on MasterChef. Anyways, if you watch that show and you know Gordon Ramsay, we can be best friends because I love food. Anyways, this team has an incredibly low threat score. That's why a lot of people are using it. I faced it plenty of freaking times already in Great League, but for good reason. It's extremely powerful. You could even have the option of sacking Bastiodon if you wanted to and just letting Medicham and Sableye go to town, but 9 times out of 10, if you play Sableye well, or if it has a huge energy lead, it will take back switch for you. Then you can realign properly, and Medicham, XL, and Bastiodon do great against a ton of different combinations. Bastiodon can beat a ton of flyers down shields. It can literally have 0 shields and farm down it and beat down an entire Cresselia. I mean, well, it can beat down Cresselia, but it can beat down entire Altaria. This team has one of arguably the lowest threat score, and for since Season 6 has been, since the XL system has came out, has been long-standing as one of the most powerful teams in Season 8 Great League. So if you're using this, I approve. I really do. It's extremely powerful. It's just, you know, I actually haven't built my XL Sableye yet, so I haven't used it yet. Anyways, but it's still really freaking good. And drumroll please, the most commonly used it's the exact same team as in Season 7. Am I surprised that statistical data ranks this as the most common team in Go Battle League? No, seriously, it's so generic. It's so generic that for the if this was like an like NBA or the NFL, etc., like how they have awards, this team would literally win MVP if it was like an MVP award. This team would win MVP 3 straight times, because for 3 straight seasons this has been the most common team from Season 6, Season 7, and Season 8. The good thing is it's a pretty available team. No XLs, Venusaur, all of these are really easy to get. I'm trying to hype it up, okay? I just can't. Behold, the 3-time MVP, the most common team at 0.87%, and I'm not surprised that's here again, is G-Fist, Lead, Pelipper, Safe Switch, and Venusaur and Closer. I'm not gonna go over this, like, it's, do you like breakfast? Do you like pancakes, toilet burbs, and are you vegan? Well, I'm not roasting vegan. By no means am I roasting any of you that are vegan. Vegan food is really good. In fact, my sister is vegan, so vegan food is in fact really, really good. It's just, with this team, it's very, like, don't let stats fool you. It is the most common team for a reason. Pelipper is a fantastic safe switch. And Venusaur with G-Fist, it just has so much pressure, it does consistent damage. Even though the stats don't reflect it, in my opinion, the other team beforehand is a lot stronger than this team. That's just my opinion, but this team is really good because it's really generic. It's very easy, like, it's very easy to operate, puts a ton of pressure against most teams. If you manage energy well, you can hopefully come out with a ton of energy on either Pelipper or Venusaur. Win switch with Pelipper as long as you Hurricane through shields, and it's just a beast of a team. No surprise that it's the most common team for Season 8 so far. And I'm pretty sure, even if they did, like, because this data is like 10 days old, it's still really good, but it's still pretty accurate. I wouldn't publish this video if I haven't seen a lot of these, so I still think this data still stands pretty popularly. As you see here, even though Medicham technically can give you a problem, Pelipper can win. Pelipper and Venusaur can beat it. And a lot of his team it's very, very flexible, and it's very, very easy to use. And again, if you have really good energy management, this team is for you. Standing at 646, it does have a mid-threat score, but you've probably seen this team. Either you've seen it, or you operated, or you've beaten it, or you've lost to it. Simply because this team is very, very good. It puts a ton of pressuring damage on you. Its Pelipper is able to take back switch, very similar to Sableye, as long as it can hurricane through shields, etc. Or you can weather ball everything to death. Funny thing is, the Toilet Bird actually wins CMP against a lot of things, so you can flush things down in the toilet, and I don't get it. How do you fire, like, well, I'm pretty sure, like, it's like a Hadouken. If you play Street Fighter, I'm pretty sure you can fit a ball of water inside a Pelipper's mouth, just because, it's a pelican. There you go. It's a pelican. There you go. It's a pelican. Pelicans got big mouths, water in mouth, and possibly Magikarps, but hopefully not a Magikarp. Magikarps have lives too, but Magikarp's probably good fish. But anyways, enough ranting about me. This team is really, really powerful, as you see here, most popular. And again, like I said, you're either using it, you've either seen it, you've either used it, it's been used against you, you've beaten it, or you've lost against it. And that's GG's. Are we done? Are we done? That was a lot to go out through. I'm just kidding. I didn't really do that much deep analysis. But I hope these teams really do give you guys, or this video does help you out, because I've seen these teams a lot. And I went through a quick analysis through all of them, but they all generally compose of very meta mons that you have very likely faced before. If you are watching this video, you're probably PvP more than the average human being on an unhealthy basis or semi-unhealthy basis like I do, so don't worry, don't be guilty. It's okay. If you're addicted to PvP like I am, and you play your battles every day or as much as you can, or if you have the goal of being a legend, even though I'm already a legend, we're just going to be in this trap over and over again until you eventually move on to another game, which I probably never will. I will still play Pokemon Go and create content for as long as it's alive. Literally as long as it's alive. Even if I move on to Pokemon Unite, which I fully intend on doing so, I will still play Pokemon Go and I'm still going to PvP. So I will still be here. I do have hopes that one day the meta will be a lot more diverse. Like Digimon, you know what I mean? You want Digimon, I feel like Pokemon Go PvP is like Digimon. Digimon, you literally have the same Pokemon, they just name it, I said that, I'm sorry, no disrespect, I'm sorry, I incorrectly called Digimon Pokemon. So when you see Digimon, Digimon literally does this. What Digimon does is that Digimon literally names the Digimon a different name and just changes the color. It's lazier than Niantic. It's that lazy of a design. So they'll call something like Gabumon and then it's like Psychomon or something like that, and it literally looks the same as Gabumon. It just looks like a shiny Pokemon just because the color is different. This is real, by the way. This is real. So I hope you guys enjoyed that reference. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, I hope these teams do help you out. You see these a lot, and again, like Azu has taken a prominence back out, so teams that target Azu might not be a bad idea to bring him back. But anyways, these teams are incredibly powerful, especially the top three. I really think the top three, like, they're great for a reason, even though the meta's been buffed, or the meta's, like, changed a little bit because of the poison/Pidgeot buff. It's cool to see that long-standing teams are still going to be very effective, just because if you use them, then you don't have to spend Stardust and change your strategy, or you're already used to this team, so you don't have to do anything different. Anyways, I wish you guys the best luck looking Go Battle League sets, and before I forget, please like and subscribe, and if you are subscribed, I do appreciate you. I do this spiel for every video, but please and thank you. I'm almost at 2K subs, so like I have to do this spiel every time at the end of the video. So if you're tired of hearing it, I really do appreciate you. You guys are awesome. If you are subscribed, I appreciate y'all. I really, really do. From the bottom of my heart. For those of you that aren't subscribed, by the time I'm done with this little spiel, you could be subscribed, because all you have to do is put your mouse on the bottom right of that little box right there. It pops up the subscribe button. You easily can just click on it. I am not subconsciously trying to trick your brain into clicking subscribe really, really fast so I can reach 2K subs by the end of the month, hopefully. But if you would like to subscribe, if you would like to like the video, please do so. It's totally free and totally helps out the channel. Did I mention it's free? Anyways, for those of you that are subscribed, really do appreciate you guys. I hope this data does help you out. Because like I said, I've seen the G-Fist teams still all out, like these teams are still out here, especially the Stunfisk Pelipper Vena team. I've seen, like, I face that team probably 2 or 3 times a day, because I do all 25 of my battles. But that just shows you how prominent that team has been since Season 6. Good luck in your Go Battle League sets, and I will see you guys on the next video.